Hello, today I'll be doing a video on Vivarium about a couple who are looking for a new house to start a family in. They visit a real estate agent where they are taken to a bleak neighborhood. The real estate agent exhibits very odd behavior. Soon after, the couple drive away from the home, not interested in the property, but have a hard time finding their way out of the neighborhood. They seem to be going in circles. This is very much like the Blair Witch Project and 2003's Dead End, where the characters are in a never-ending nightmare where they can't escape their surroundings. The first half was very promising because we don't know what's going on and the characters are likable enough. By the time the movie ended, I still didn't know what the heck was going on. The movie didn't seem to have a purpose. What was the motive for everything that was happening? I understood what was happening in the movie, I understood everything that was going on, but what was the point in doing any of the things that were being done to this couple? And we never find out what's actually happening. We basically have to come up with our own conclusion as to what's happening. There's very little plot development. You know almost next to nothing new by the time the movie ends, and the ending is kind of predictable at a certain point. Like the last 10 minutes, you start to pick up on how this movie is actually going to end, and the movie thinks it's more creative and thrilling than it really is. I remember back in middle school, I wrote a horror story that had a very similar type of ending. And back then I thought I was being super innovative. It's one of those endings that come in full circle. I don't want to give specifics because it is a spoiler, but it's a story, it's an ending that comes in full circle. It starts the same way it begins, and it's very systematic. And that type of ending has been done to death. Like I said before, I wrote a story that was very similar to this. I wrote an ending that was similar to this, and I felt nothing but slightly irritated at this ending, and I was really hoping that this would have something more to it, but it just ends on a cliche. Honestly, the only highlight of this movie was the performances by Emoji Poots and Jesse Eisenberg. It was nice seeing Jesse not play a little awkward wimp who gets his ass kicked or pushed around. He was actually a really normal guy, and it kind of made him attractive, surprisingly. I don't like Emoji Poots, but her acting was very top-notch. I was very impressed by her. You could see the distraught in her face in some scenes. When she was distressed or crying or deeply depressed, I honestly felt for her. When she was distressed, I was distressed. And because she was able to get an emotional reaction out of me just by watching her, I say that was the highlight of the movie. Overall, I have to give this a 4.5 out of 10. It's not a boring movie, it's just the story itself is very disappointing. And one minor spoiler, but because the movie doesn't explain anything, I had to come up with my own conclusion, and it is a minor spoiler. But my guess is that this is supposed to be a modern and more sinister version of an alien invasion, and maybe that's why everything comes into full circle. And plus, there's really no other explanation that would make any sense. So yeah, 4.5 out of 10.